Today we're talking about a theory that explains why games feel so different. Marshall McLuhan's concept of hot and cool media. A philosopher from the 1960s who changed the way we think about media, from YouTube to the video games we play today. Back in Marshall McLuhan's day, the world was amidst in a massive media revolution. Television was taking over the living room, and radio dominated the airwaves. And print media shaped people's understanding of the world. McLuhan looked at all this and saw something deeper. He wasn't interested in what people were watching and listening to, but how these different types of media changed their perception of reality. So he came up with a concept called hot and cool media. This wasn't about the temperature. This is about how much each type of media involves the audience. In the 1960s, Marshall McLuhan were thinking about these ideas as a way to understand TV, radio, and print culture, and how each different medium created a different world for his users. But here's the twist. McLuhan had no idea that video games would become one of the biggest media forms of the 21st century. Yet his ideas about hot and cool media can help us explain why some games feel like experiences, while others feel like playgrounds. Hot games grab you by the hand and say, this is the story, this is the path. Everything is tightly controlled, from the narrative to the gameplay mechanics. Take Last of Us or God of War. These games are immersive, often cinematic experiences. Every detail, from the camera angles to the emotional beats, are finely tuned to make you feel a certain way. There's little room for deviation, but that's the trade-off. You get intense, cohesive experiences at the cost of freedom. Let's talk about one mechanic that perfectly exemplifies hot design: quick-time events. Remember that time in Uncharted when you had to press a button during a dramatic moment? That's a QTE. You may feel like you're in control, but you're really just pressing a single button in a scene that's being choreographed around you. An illusion of interactivity. You're not shaping the narrative, you're following it. Games like The Last of Us or BioShock use their tightly controlled environment to deliver political or moral messages. The linear nature of these games makes it easy for developers to guide you towards specific interpretations. It's a lot like reading a book where the author's intent is very clear. The result? You just don't experience the game, you experience the message. The game speaks to you, telling you what to think, what to feel. It's a conversation with only one side talking. Cool games hand you the keys to the kingdom. They don't lead you down a specific path. Instead, they give you freedom to explore, experiment, and create. Take Skyrim or Minecraft. You're not told where to go or what to do. Instead, you're dropped into a vast open world where the story emerges from the choices you make. While that might sound liberating, it can also feel overwhelming if you're the type of player who needs clear goals. Cool games are all about the long game. Many times, cool games will keep you coming back season after season. Take Fortnite or Minecraft. These aren't just games, these are platforms. Developers don't want you just to pay for a single experience. They want you engaged for years. It's like a TV show with endless seasons, each designed to pull you back in for one more episode. But what about the games that don't stick to just hot and cool? Some of the most successful titles out there take elements from both sides of the spectrum. Take Spider-Man. On one hand, it's an open world game. You can swing through New York, explore at your leisure, tackle side quests at your own pace. So it's cool in that sense. But then the moment you jump into a story mission, it flips into a hot game. Suddenly you're immersed, tightly scripted, emotional narrative where every fight, every scene is crafted for maximum impact. The contrast between the open world freedom and the controlled intensity of the missions keep players constantly engaged. Rockstar Games with titles like Grand Theft Auto 5 and Red Dead Redemption blend these hot and cool dynamics as well. You could spend hours simply exploring the world, interacting with NPCs, and shaping your own adventure. But when you dive again into the main missions, it's all about high-stakes actions and tightly woven narrative threads designed to push the story forward in a way that grips the player emotionally. What makes these hybrid games so appealing is how they let players have it all. Freedom to do whatever they want, coupled with moments where the game takes the reins to deliver a powerful, memorable experience. So what have you learned? Hot games offer a tense, curated experience, giving you emotional highs of a well-scripted story. Cold games, on the other hand, give you the freedom to build your own journey. And then there's hybrids, games that mix the best of both worlds. In the end, understanding the hot and cool spectrum gives us a new way to look at our favorite titles.